Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely.
Today we're tackling something pretty essential.
Yeah, pretty important for life as we know it.
We're talking about water.
You got it. But we're going way beyond just the stuff we drink.
Oh yeah, we've got some fascinating stuff lined up today. Scientific papers, historical accounts, even some philosophical musings.
We're going to look at water's hidden depths, its connection to energy, maybe even consciousness.
It's amazing how water is so essential yet so mysterious at the same time.
Yeah.
We literally depend on it, but we're still figuring out all its secrets.
Exactly. This deep dive is going to take us on quite a journey. Where should we start?
Well, let's start with the basics. I think everyone knows that water is crucial for life. But how many people realize that water is actually a liquid crystal?
Yeah, most people probably picture ice when they think of crystals.
Right. But water molecules actually arrange themselves in this incredible honeycomb-like structure.
It's that structure that gives water its unique properties.
Exactly. For example, high surface tension. That's why some insects can actually walk on water.
And don't forget water's high specific heat capacity.
Right. Water can absorb a lot of heat without big temperature swings. That helps keep Earth's climate relatively stable. It's like water was designed to support life with all these perfectly tuned properties.
It's pretty remarkable.
Speaking of design, we have to talk about Victor Schauberger, the water wizard. Have you heard of him?
Oh yeah, he was obsessed with the power of water's movement, especially those swirling vortexes.
Yeah. He even built devices to create them, didn't he?
He did. Schauberger's believed those vortexes could actually revitalize water, like increase its energy and purity.
It sounds pretty far out there.
It does, but it leads to this whole concept of structured water, supposedly found in natural springs with enhanced properties.
Yeah, some people swear by structured water, claim all sorts of health benefits. Is there any truth to it?
Honestly, it's a bit controversial. Some scientists are skeptical, but others are doing some really interesting research in that area.
Intriguing for sure. Now, this deep dive takes us even deeper into the realm of water, consciousness, and spirituality.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting.
Rudolf Steiner, the philosopher, he saw water as more than just H2O.
Oh yeah, I've read some of his work.
He believed water could carry cosmic forces and information, almost like a universal memory bank.
It's wild to think about, and it actually connects to ancient practices like blessing water that's found in cultures all over the world.
Like people intuitively understood water's ability to absorb and transmit energy, even in tension.
Exactly.
Then there's Masaru Emoto and his famous water crystal experiments. Have you seen those photos of the water crystals?
Oh yeah, they're incredible.
He exposed water to different words, music, even emotions, and then he froze it. The crystals formed all these different shapes depending on the input.
Crazy, right?
It's wild stuff. Makes you wonder about the impact of our thoughts and emotions, not just on ourselves, but on the water around us.
Right. Like what if we're constantly influencing the water we interact with?
Mind-blowing stuff. But let's shift gears a bit to a more serious topic.
Okay, sure.
Water faces some huge challenges in the modern world. Things like scarcity, pollution, overuse. It's impacting ecosystems and human lives on a massive scale.
Absolutely. We can't ignore these problems. One clear example is river straightening. People have been trying to control water's natural flow for centuries.
And it hasn't worked out so well, has it?
Not really. It's led to increased erosion, loss of biodiversity, a disrupted water cycle. It shows what can happen when we try to dominate nature instead of working with it.
So is there any hope? Are we fighting a losing battle when it comes to water?
Not necessarily. This is where understanding water's natural rhythms becomes really crucial. Have you ever heard of Taoism?
Oh yeah, the ancient
Oh.
Chinese philosophy.
Right. Taoism uses water as a symbol of adaptability and wisdom. It encourages us to go with the flow, to embrace change rather than resist it.
Instead of trying to control water, we should learn from its adaptability. Makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Taoism emphasizes this concept of wu wei, which basically means effortless action.
Effortless action.
Yeah, it's about aligning ourselves with the natural flow. Water is a perfect example of this. It carves canyons, nourishes life, always finds a way.
Amazing. Okay, so working with water, not against it. That's a powerful idea. But how do we actually put that into practice? I guess that's a question for part 2 of this deep dive.
Definitely. We'll get into some more practical solutions then.
Okay, we're back and ready to keep exploring the fascinating world of water.
Yep, still diving deep.
We're talking about water's structure, how it can be influenced.
Right, that whole liquid crystal thing.
Exactly. And you were saying that structure isn't static.
Yeah, it's pretty dynamic, actually. A lot of things can impact it. Sunlight, magnetic fields, even sound vibrations.
Wait, sound. So like playing music to water, does that really do anything?
There's a whole field of study called cymatics that looks at how sound waves create visible
Oh,
patterns.
yeah, I've seen those videos of water droplets like dancing to music. They're mesmerizing.
That's cymatics in action. And those patterns aren't just a visual trick. The sound is actually changing the water.
Wow, really? How does that work?
The vibrations from those sound waves, they interact with water molecules, make them move and arrange themselves in those intricate patterns.
It's kind of like the water is dancing to the music.
Exactly. And some researchers believe that sound, along with other methods like exposing water to sunlight or using special filters, can create a more organized molecular structure. That structured water we were talking about earlier.
All right, so is that how they make structured water?
It's one way, yeah. The theory is that structured water is more easily absorbed by our bodies. And some believe it might even enhance water's ability to carry energy and information.
Interesting. I'm starting to see why we call this a deep dive. There's so much more to water than meets the eye. Speaking of which, we can't forget the basics. Chemically speaking, water isn't just H2O, right? There's more to it.
Oh, absolutely. One of water's most important characteristics is that it's an amazing solvent.
To solve it.
Yeah, it dissolves a ton of substances, which is why natural water sources contain things like minerals and gases.
Oh, okay. So that's why different types of water taste different.
Exactly. Like mineral water has that distinct taste because of the dissolved minerals in it, and those minerals can actually impact water's properties, even its potential health benefits.
Huh. It really makes you appreciate how complex water is. So is there like an ideal type of water for health?
That's a question that sparks a lot of debate. There's no easy answer. Some people are really into structured water, others focus on mineral content or purity.
I can see how it would get complicated.
Yeah.
And speaking of purity, we have to address the elephant in the room, pollution.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. Sadly, pollution is threatening water resources all over the world. Industrial waste, agricultural runoff, plastic, it's all ending up in our rivers, lakes, oceans.
It's heartbreaking to see the damage it's doing both to ecosystems and people. It feels overwhelming. What can we even do about it?
It's a huge problem, no doubt. But I don't think it's hopeless. There are things we can do both individually and globally.
Like what? Give us some hope here.
Well, on a personal level, we can be mindful of how much water we use, dispose of hazardous materials properly, support organizations working to protect water. All those things help.
Those are good ideas. But what about the bigger picture?
We need stricter regulations to prevent pollution in the first place, investment in new water treatment technologies, and international cooperation to manage shared water resources.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It is. But these challenges aren't insurmountable.
This deep dive has really shown how water is connected to everything. Our health, the environment, even global politics.
Right, it's like a microcosm of the world.
Exactly. So we've covered water's structure, its spiritual side, the challenges it's facing, and some potential solutions.
A pretty good overview.
But we're not done yet. Get ready, listeners, because in our final segment, we're diving into some truly mind-bending concepts. Don't go anywhere. Okay, deep divers, we're back. Ready for the final part of our water journey.
Let's do it.
We've gone pretty deep so far, but this last part, well, let's just say it might blow your mind.
It's definitely some next level stuff.
We've talked about water structure, how it can be influenced, but now we're getting into the concept of the torus field. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah, the torus field. It's a fascinating idea.
So for our listeners who haven't gone down this rabbit hole, what exactly is a torus field?
Imagine a donut shape, a torus. Now imagine that donut made entirely of swirling energy, constantly flowing.
Okay, I'm picturing it, a donut of energy. Go on.
Some researchers believe that water, because of its ability to hold and transmit information, can actually interact with these torus fields, even create them.
Hold on, you're saying water can create these energy fields?
It's a theory, but yeah. And think about it, water's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
In our bodies, the atmosphere, the oceans.
It's the most abundant substance on Earth.
Exactly. So what if water is actually playing a role in shaping these energy fields, connecting everything in the universe?
Whoa, okay. Now that's a wild thought. But is there any science to back this up? Or is this just speculation?
Like a lot of things with water, we're still figuring it out. But there are some serious scientists who are exploring the idea of torus fields.
Like who? Anyone we might have heard of.
Well, there's Michio Kaku, the theoretical physicist. He's pretty well known.
Oh yeah, Michio Kaku.
Mm.
He's the one who talks about parallel universes and stuff, right?
That's him. Brilliant guy. And some of his work suggests that the universe might be a lot more interconnected than we currently understand, with energy fields potentially playing a key role.
So we're talking about water being a key to unlocking some of the biggest mysteries of the universe.
It's a possibility. I mean, water has all these unique properties. A&D, it's all over the cosmos. Who knows what secrets it holds?
It's incredible to think about. We started with the molecular structure of water, and now we're talking about parallel universes. This deep dive has been quite the journey.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Well, I think it's time to wrap things up. After this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to walk away with?
That's a good question. I think the biggest thing is just a renewed sense of wonder about water.
Yeah, it's easy to take it for granted.
Totally. But it's so much more than just something we drink or use to wash dishes. Water is essential for life. It shapes our planet. And maybe, just maybe, it holds the key to understanding the universe itself.
I'll never look at a glass of water the same way again.
Me neither.
Well, a huge thank you to you for guiding us through this deep dive. It's been mind-blowing.
My pleasure. It's always fun to talk about water.
And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the wonders of water. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. Until next time.